Hey guys, welcome back to Rhoda Eats. It's your girl Rhoda, and today I'm going to show you how to make my delicious seafood rice. And please remember, all the ingredients and the amount that I added will be in the description, so please make sure you read the description, okay? So I start with some plain white rice, green seasoning, coconut milk, medium shrimp. I like to use the medium shrimp for this specifically, olive oil, adobo, of course Old Bay, can't have seafood without it, poultry herbs, and it's literally just herbs, no seasoning, and that's sazon. Of course I have some crawfish tail, it's just the meat, and I have some crab. You can use whatever seafood or meat that you like, okay? Just remember that if it is delicate like the shrimp, you want to add it when the rice is almost cooked. So I'm going to heat some olive oil in my pan, and I'm going to get it nice and hot, but not too hot to burn it, and I'm going to put my green seasoning in there, okay? So the green seasoning eliminates me having to chop up and add onions and peppers and garlic and celery or whatever it is that I'm adding. It has lots of herbs and stuff in it, so it kind of cuts that down for me. So this is what I'm going to start with, and I'm going to cook it as if I will cook down my regular onions and everything that I chopped, if I chopped onions and stuff. So if you just have onions and garlic with a little bit of celery or whatever you like to add as aromatics, you can chop those up and sweat them out in a pan with the hot olive oil. Okay, so I'm going to start to add and toast up my seasonings. So I'm going to start with the poultry herbs. Of course, my adobo. I'm eyeballing it because I've been using seasoning and cooking for so long that I kind of have an approximate amount for the amount that I'm able to shake out. I will put it down below, but it is always to taste. You can always switch up the seasoning. You know, every recipe I have sazon in there and adobo, so you should know that's my go-to, but you are free to use whatever seasonings you like, okay? Okay guys, so here I add my washed rice. I always wash my rice and make sure it's nice and drained, and then I add it to my pan, and this is where I toast my rice a little bit, okay? So I start by toasting it so that all of the seasonings and everything start getting into it. I toast it up, and I don't know, it's just, it does something to the rice, you know, it does. So here's where I start to toast it. Alright guys, so here I'm just adding some water, and I'm adding enough to just cover the rice, okay? Now at this point you're going to let it come to a boil, alright? And also this is the point where I'm going to add my coconut milk, okay? I put my coconut milk in the refrigerator, and it separates the cream from the liquid, so the water will be most at the bottom. That's if it's 100% coconut milk, then it'll separate, so I just scrape the cream off of the top. That's why it looks like that. But if your coconut milk is in liquid form, just feel free to add it, okay? But just remove about a third or a quarter cup of the water if your coconut milk is in liquid form. All right, so as your liquid comes to a boil, you are going to see the oil on top start to separate from the water. Okay, so this is where I just take a spoon and I skim the oil from the top. Okay, so that's all the olive oil that we use to cook our green seasoning, aka sweat the vegetables if you're just using chopped vegetables. That's all the oil coming off there, so you won't have greasy or weird textured rice. It goes right to the top, and then you skim it off with a spoon, and then you're back to normal. So after I skim it off, I cover up the pot, and I turn the heat to low, and I just let it simmer. OMG, guys, I forgot, before I put the pot on low, I did go ahead and add my crab meat. It is fresh crab meat, and I do add that first. It doesn't affect the texture or anything, I find, so I do add that first, and then I cover it and let it simmer on low until the water starts to dry out. After it dries out near to the end, when I feel like the rice is almost finished cooking, then is when I add my shrimp, and I just nestle it in there, mix it around, and I'll add more crab meat, and of course right there is where I'm adding the crawfish tails. Okay, God bless the people who sit and get the meat out of those tails for me. Thank you. Love crawfish. Okay guys, so because you added all of the more delicate seafood at the end, it will not overcook or be rubbery and chewy. So that's always a plus, all right? So you just let that cook until all of the liquid has evaporated out of your rice and out of your pot, and everything is all cooked through. Your rice is nice and tender, and then you will be ready to devour. Okay, I like mine with a piece of blackened salmon on it with some Cajun butter sauce. But today I was so hungry, honey, I had to just eat it. I really didn't even have time to make a pretty plate and all that. So I just took my bowl, put in the grass, and here is the end result. Okay, and of course it's not a meal unless you have avocado in it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.